Alright, this video is going to provide an overview of the settings and how they are able to set the defaults that are checked under our features to machine. So notice when we select a wall cabinet, some of these features are not selected or checked, and when we select a base cabinet, a few more options are checked. So going back to a wall cabinet, notice some are unchecked and some are checked. That is set by going to our settings, either by clicking the toolbar cabinet or tools cabinet settings. On our cabinet settings we have the same drop down box for cabinet types. So selecting wall from this main set here is a way to set all the defaults for a wall cabinet or the selected cabinet type. Also notice that we do not have as many features to machine on our entry page as we do in the settings. The reason for this is only the combined total of all cabinet type features to machine that are checked will show up on our main entry page. So to change the default of when I select wall, if I don't want blind dados by default on my wall cabinet, I could just uncheck this. That setting is now saved, and when I go to close the settings and select wall, blind dado is not checked, and also notice that blind dado has cleared off of this screen. The reason why it is cleared there is because not any other cabinet type has a checkbox for blind dados. So we still have that function there if we ever want to get that back, simply by going to settings cabinet and then just adding a blind dado checkbox back there for a wall cabinet. Now for each feature of the machine, there's a set of settings that go along with that. So for the drill shelf holes is the shelf settings, and then the toe kick notch, there is a toe kick notch setting. So we can take a look at the toe kick notch, and it tells us how high it's going to be in the depth. Same goes for the shelves. Click on shelves and we could change the shelf hole spacing. Now any setting that you change automatically gets saved as soon as you enter in a number for that setting, but it is only saved for the selected cabinet type. So if we wanted to change the shelf hole spacings across every cabinet type, what you would do is change the setting that you would want it to be changed to, and then come down and click Apply Settings to All Cabinet Types. Before I do that, I just want to show you how this applies only to a wall cabinet. So with this setting in Windows still opened up, I'm going to switch the box to select a base cabinet. Notice that the shelf hole spacing moved to 1.25 inches, and that's what's set for a base cabinet. Going back to a wall cabinet, notice it goes back to our number 2 again. Or going to our wall base cabinet and changing our shelf holes spacing to a 3, that does not set it for the wall cabinet's still set to 2. So if I do want to have this change affect across all cabinet types, change it to whatever setting that you would want it to be, say 2.5, and once you made that change, or any other changes that you want on this window for the shelf holes to be applied across all settings, cabinet types, select and click the Apply this setting to all cabinet types. Now that change has just swept through all cabinet types and made that change now. So our shelf spacing for a base cabinet is 2.5. The same thing goes for a wall. To set it back, enter in 1.25. That only changes it for a wall cabinet, but again, if I wanted to change across all cabinet types, select Apply Settings to All Cabinet Types, and selecting base, we can see that it's changed. Another feature that we have is a materials variable, which comes in handy for dados. If we want to have a dado width to be set to a certain material thickness that we have set here, so we have our back set right now to be 3/4 of an inch. If I come in here and change the backs, instead of 3/4, change it to 1/4 inch, the back dados are not changing. They're still set to be 3/8 of an inch. So we have a way of entering in a variable here for the material. So back dados, if we right click in this setting and enter in back materials, that plugs the variable in there for material back. So that is going to equate to whatever we have set for our material. In this case, it's going to give us a 1/4 inch wide dado. If I set it to be 3/4, it'll just equal out 3/4. Now it'll remain as the variable and not a number there, and it is used internally within the program. There is a case where you may have a few different styles of cabinets that you make, or different thickness materials, and you want to have a set of default settings for that material thickness or that material size. So you may have a job set up for 5/8 material and 3/4 material. Instead of having to come in for every time you change material and change the settings for all the cabinet types of the material, you could go through, set the material up to be 3/4 in this case, and then come down and save that as a custom settings file, and you could name that, custom material 3/4, or match it up to whatever you're doing, and then you could come in and change the material to all 5/8, and again you could come down and save that to a customs file. To load that customs file, it's just selecting Open Custom Settings File and navigate to where you saved it and open that up as a custom settings file. Then all settings within that file will have changed. You also have the way to scale to metric or scale to imperial. All this buttons do will just sweep across all numeric values, changing the value from its imperial setting, multiplying it out by 25.4, or clicking the imperial will scale it down from metric to inch imperial settings. So that is kind of the overview of the settings and how they interact with the cabinet types, and saving each setting for its own cabinet type or changing them for all cabinet types, and also to show how the features to machine checks are checked by default based on what you have selected for that cabinet type in our main settings. I hope this was of some help.